bump it again on myself later because I got the leg set up in just the wrong spot. Or the right spot if you're trying to knock stuff around. Anyway, it's been a little bit. I thought I would log on today and do a live chat to say hi to everybody and see how everybody's doing. And also, I don't know, I had kind of a weird week. A weird couple things happened to me over the last week. I had a weird day. Just, you know, you ever had one of those days where you have the best intentions waking up, but kind of everything seems to go sideways? That was my day a couple days ago, and yeah. So I guess I know people are logging in right now, but I'm gonna start off by sharing my awkward stories before I kind of give you an update. The first thing that sort of happened is we live out in the country now. As you guys probably remember from the series we did building our new house and all that. If you haven't, you can go back and watch that. That was a whole adventure. There's an older fellow that lives in the area. And I don't know if you remember, I bought an old brown truck and a camper Chevy van maybe like 2-3 years ago. And I drove that brown Chevy truck. It was a square body Chev for a little while. And the guy that I bought it from was moving, and he said, "Oh, the next door neighbor in this area here." He said he's an old Dutch guy, and so okay, I thought he's an old Dutch guy. He's lived next to him for like 20 years, and he was moving. And this all will make sense in a minute. So I've always just remembered that as we're going kind of for a walk in our area, that there's the one house, and there is a older fellow, and I sometimes wave to him as he's gardening or doing his stuff out there. And I've always thought he's the old Dutch guy. So me and my stupid attempt to bridge a gap and say hello, he was kind of trimming his hedges near the road. And I said, "Goeiedag, hoe gaan we met jou?" Which in Dutch is pretty much just like, "How's it going?" And he said, "Oh," in what sounded like a Dutch accent, he went, "What? I don't understand." And so I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were Dutch." And then he does the thing like he can't hear because he's hard of hearing. So then I have to walk into his yard to explain that I thought he was Dutch and I spoke the wrong language to this guy. Anyway, so it turns out he is from Switzerland, but he doesn't speak German, which is a pretty common language in Switzerland. He speaks Italian, which is one of the other languages they speak in parts of Switzerland. So we did connect a little bit on that, and I do speak a little bit of Italian now, and we chatted a little bit. And as we walked away, my wife and my daughter and I were out for the walk at the time. I look over at Abigail, and she's giving me a look like, "Oh, Dad, you failed. You failed so bad." Yeah, just, you know, those moments you try and connect with somebody who doesn't really pan out the way you hoped. Oh, Catherine says today she nearly scared a sweet lady to death as she raked blossoms. I've done that. You know, Melissa, she will hide on me all the time. And so Janie was asking, where's Melissa right now? Melissa has a meeting with her community league tonight, so it's just me. But she hides on me all the time and intentionally jumps out to try and scare me. And I don't. She'll be vacuuming or something. I'll just walk in the house and I'll like go to the fridge and it'll freak her right out. She'll ah! and scare her. But that same day that I had the awkward conversation with my not so Dutch neighbor, who ended up being Swiss, I was driving and there was a Jeep, like a Jeep Cherokee, like a 1990s Jeep Cherokee. And her wiper blade, there was two girls in the car, one in the front and one in the passengers. They probably like in their mid-20s or something like that. And they were, the wiper blade had fallen down. You've ever seen, you know how the wiper arm is attached on the back window to clear it? Well, it had fallen completely down and they left their wiper on. So it's down and it's basically doing a really great job of cleaning their license plate. And so I pulled up to them at the light. And I'm kind of waving, you know, and the driver's just oblivious to what's happening. But the girlfriend sitting next to her looks over and sees me. And I'm like, "Hey, roll." I'm doing the thing I even did this. I mimed it. I went like this and I went, like roll your window down. I thought that was pretty good. And I'm pointing to the back, trying to tell her that, you know, they've got their wiper on. So instead of them putting the window down to see what I was talking about, she held her hoodie up over her face like this, so I couldn't see her face. And then they just drove off. What do they think I was doing? I was in the car with Melissa. So she witnessed my awkwardness, but I just had a day of like weird stuff like that happening. Me trying to make connections with people. I don't know what she thought was happening. It was obviously not a hijacking, and I was driving my old Jeep Wagoneer. So now, anytime I'm driving in that old Wagoneer, somebody, if I see them again, they might be like, "There's that stalker guy. He's chasing us down." I was doing everything I could to be like, just like, "Oh, roll your window down. You got all the wipers going off." Anyway, yeah, it was a weird day. It was a day of stuff like that, or getting stuck in traffic everywhere I went. But anyway, today was a lot better. Um, I helped my mom move this past week. She had been in the same place. I think I told you, did I tell you guys this? My mom was renting in the same place for like 17 years, renting a condo. And the people that built the condo building, which is a really big building, they said, if we ever decide to sell, you'll have first crack at it and we'll apply a bunch of your rent towards purchasing it. So they they just told her basically like last month or the month before that she had to get out after 17 years. And they said that they sold it. And then when we finally got her all moved into a different place and everything, the new owner wasn't a new owner. The guy just wanted his grandkid to move in there. So kind of sucked. But my mom's in a much nicer place now, and she's all more or less all set up. I think there's a few things. My mom's an artist, and she has all sorts of art gear, and that's taking a little while to put out, but she's nearly got it. And I spent the better part of this morning building. She ordered I don't know what you call it, like a sideboard, and she ordered it on Wayfair, and it came flat packed like IKEA. Really cool looking thing. It's the style she wanted and all that good stuff, but it had to be assembled. So I was over there. It took me like a couple hours to put it, no, maybe an hour and a half or so to put it together, because there was a lot of fussy little screws and bits and pieces and nailing and stuff. But it's all done. It's all together now. And she's excited to be able to put stuff places. So if my mom's watching right now, I love you, Mom. And I hope you find all kinds of wonderful stuff to put inside your new sideboard. This past week, I've been super busy. Basically, I've got videos scheduled all for a while, and I've been working my fingers literally to the bone nearly. I've got blisters and stuff all over because I've been wrenching on stuff in the garage. So there's a couple videos that are going to be coming out down the road of what the heck I've been working on out there. But for those of you that like the car content I do, you will be very satisfied this summer, as I have a couple little car series coming out. And I think they'll be pretty interesting. What else is going on? Oh yeah, I bought a big collection of stuff. If you're watching this now and then down the road you find the video, I bought a big collection of vintage and antique toys off a guy. It's still sitting in boxes. I bought it yesterday. I've got to go out to the garage and actually film that video of me doing the unboxing and stuff. There was so much stuff going on. Renee says, hi, Mrs. Alex's mom. Her name's Linda. So if you ever see Linda with the Y, Lynda, that's my mom. I don't know if she actually watches these live streams logged in. She probably watches them after the fact. But my mom, Linda, resettled into a nice new place and she got herself some new furniture and stuff. So it's looking good over there. So very happy for my mom. Pardon my cough. It has just been basically like a, Rob says many younger people haven't seen crank down windows. Maybe she didn't understand the hand motion. What would this mean? What would that mean? You're going to perform a Shakespearean play, and I'm going to lower you down onto the stage using a wire apparatus. I don't know what that is. Julie says, hey, Alex, your videos are awesome. I always enjoy them. That's nice, Julie. Thanks very much. Yeah, it is spring here. The grass is turning green and the weather is nice and everything is starting to look good out there. I've been trying to get the yard all set up and ready. It's, after a year of stuff sitting under snow, you start to get snow mold and stuff piles up on you a little bit. So I've been doing yard work. I've been working on these projects that I've got going on. Getting my mom moved. It's been really, really busy. But I have also been filming videos, and you guys will certainly see, typically every Wednesday and Saturday, I try and put something out. Today was just a little live stream just to check in. William Thompson says, appreciation from Collierville, Tennessee. Did I go through Collierville when I was in Tennessee? I can't remember if I did or not, but anyway, it was, Kathy Miller says snow mold. Okay, so if you are not in a cold environment and like this, that kind of has the freeze and thaw, what happens is when the snow melts off, it leaves kind of like this fuzzy, we call it snow mold. It's like a fuzzy, moldy sort of business every year that's usually on dead leaves and on the grass and stuff like that. It goes away right away. Usually you mow once or rainfall comes and it goes away, but that will affect your allergies. There's also a lot of pollen in the air right now. We had our first real rain a couple days ago, and there was so much pollen it actually left like these yellow sort of swirly bits all over our driveway. I saw somebody spotted the Tin Man back there. This came from an episode I bought. I was in a it was sort of a hoarded house situation, but this is one little thing. It's a bean can Tin Man, and I thought it had a lot of character, but he's articulated and he's got his little heart inside there. It says it was made in 1945. I don't know. U.S. Metalworks. Oh, 1946. Don't know much about him, but he's really neat. And sometimes those cute little things like that I hang on to. Oh, Kathy says, I wonder if Steven's ever going to do anything on his YouTube channel. I hope he does. He's busy being a university student right now and keeping himself occupied with all that. So school first for sure, and he has a part-time job, so he's got school, he's got work, and I think he is busy doing art though. I think it's just a matter of filming it and getting back into the groove of that. But I'll let him know that his fans are waiting for him to do more videos, so I'll tell him that for sure. From someone who lives in the middle of the desert, I never knew snow had mold left over. Yes, sometimes when it melts off, you get, I mean, at any time there's humidity at all, you get dampness and it's sitting on your grass all winter long and then it melts off. Funny thing is, grass can freeze green too. So when you get your first melt off, it looks like the grass is green already, but it was just frozen that way. Always bounces back. Mother Nature is very resilient, as it turns out. But there's a lot of work to do when the snow goes away. You got to clean up. A lot of times the roads here, they put sand or gravel on them and they've got to go around and sweep that stuff up. So a lot of guys with motorcycles wait until they come and sweep all the roads up before they go out on the motorcycles. Because if you hit a curve at any kind of speed on a motorcycle, there's a risk of it kind of going over on you. So you got to be careful. Hello from BC. Oh, hey, back at you in BC. And then Claus and Whisker says, I'm headed to BC and Alberta from Australia late summer. Well, it'd be nice to have you. Always nice to have other people from the colonies come and visit us. Found out that thunderstorms can open up pollen and spread it around. Yeah, okay, can do that too, trigger asthma. I certainly get that too. I will probably have to make a trip out to BC at some point in the near future. I've got record around here somewhere. What did I do with that record? I'm really bad. I have stuff around here. Oh, hang on. I'm going to show you. I'll be right back. You can just sit and stare at my chair for a second. So there's a subscriber in BC and in Victoria that was part of a band called the Young Ones and this is in the 1960s. And they were quite young. Like they were probably 14 or 15. Can you imagine being 14 or 15 and having your own band? And on top of it, they opened for The Who when The Who came to town and played. And my mom at one point was engaged to one of the guys in the band and prior to knowing my dad. And one of the bandmates, that guy, Sid, I now am acquainted with through the YouTube. He found me on YouTube and reached out. And I texted him the other day and I said, hey, look what I found. This was in my dad's collection. My mom said, do you want it? And I remember buying this for my dad for a birthday present because it was from the Edmonton area. And he said, I never got one of those. I never got this album. So this guy, as a kid, is now a grown retired man. And I'm going to go deliver this album to him in Vancouver Island at some point. So we'll go out there. I'm asked, what's my favorite watch I've ever found? Probably a Rolex Steve McQueen. That was a pretty good one. That came out of a storage locker. but not a storage locker that I bought. I ran into a guy at a storage facility, and he said he found some watches, and gosh, he had found a Rolex Steve McQueen from the 70s, which is a really neat watch. So I ended up buying it off him. That's probably the neatest one, I think, more recently. Uh, gosh, I was talking about bands and going out to British Columbia and stuff like that. I am excited. I do like going out to BC. It's really nice. No recent watch finds. Well, I don't know. Actually, not recent for me, but probably videos of me finding watches will come out. I'm trying to live in the moment, but I forgot there's still like a month and a half of videos out there that you guys haven't seen yet. Since you live in the country, do you ever sing out in the country by Three Dog Night? No, I have not yet. I have not. Maybe that's one I got to work on. I haven't actually been doing much singing or playing guitar lately at all. I haven't really been feeling it. I feel like I got to get back into that groove for sure. Oh, Andrew says, does your Ford truck need to be inside? No, it's fine outside. Actually, even in -40, the thing still starts. It's a really reliable vehicle. They built them, I don't want to be cheesy, but Ford tough at that point. It was a tough old truck. And for those of you that watched my last live stream where my Jeep had broken down, I was waiting on a tow truck. Well, I got it home, and within 5 minutes, I had the starter back on. That said, I went out to pick some stuff up from a person later that day after I'd fixed it, and the starter fell off again. And so I was able to cobble it together on the side of the road without a tow truck. Luckily, I had put work gloves in the Jeep, so I didn't have to worry about burning myself. And I got the starter back on again. Oh, this is the other thing. Remember that day I said I was having all the awkward stuff happen? This same day, I go to this lady's house and bought some, I can't remember, like an old carpet or something I was going to do something with off of Marketplace. And I loaded up, and my vehicle broke down in her driveway. Like the starter actually fell off, and it would not start. It was just freewheeling because the starter fell off. Like it was just dangling by one bolt. And I didn't want to be all awkward and be stuck on her driveway and block her garage. So her driveway luckily was on a bit of an angle. So I just put it in neutral and I wheeled it out onto the main road into an empty space where I could stop. And yeah, there on the side of the road, I crawled underneath with my work gloves, found the bolt that had fallen off. It was on her driveway still. And I went and got it and I threaded it back in, and I noticed that the threads were really loose. But I got it threaded back in, and I got it to start, and I was all proud of myself, but I was really low on gas, and I was maybe half hour from home, and I was like hovering above the E, but the gas station that was on the way was closed. They were doing renovations, or I don't know what they were doing, but it was closed. So I thought, okay, well, it's only like about 20, 30 minutes home. I'll be able to make it, no problem. That was my first mistake. I got onto the freeway, and somebody who's having a worse day than me, their trailer, their camper, like their holiday trailer, the wheels fell off. Like the whole axle, I think, broke off. There was no wheels. It was just sitting on the brake drums on both sides, dug into the concrete in the middle of a major highway, like major highway freeway. And so the traffic was at a standstill. So I'm there. Oh, and on top of it, as I'm pulling up to this, all this clog of traffic, I saw the bolt of my starter fly off and go down the highway, and so I knew I didn't have a way to put the starter back on if it fell off on me again. So I couldn't turn the vehicle off. So there I am. I come up to a traffic jam. I'm hovering above the E. My starter's fallen off, so I can't even turn the vehicle off to conserve gas. And I'm just like biting my nails the whole time. So I'm sitting there like this, like I'm stopped, and I probably have the like, oh, God, I hope that I just don't get stuck here. And I look over, and there's these girls in this truck next to me. They're giving me the thumbs up like they like the Jeep. And the whole time I'm just worried that I'm going to break down on the side of the road. And I barely made it home, and I decided I'm not going to mess around with that old starter anymore. I went and bought a new one, and so far, so good. I guess the threads of the old one were stripped, so c'est la vie. It still worked, but I didn't want to put a Healy coil or do any mess with it. It was cheap just to buy a new starter. So new starter, new alternator and that thing in the last little while, but it's been good. But I sure had it felt like the same experience when I was coming back or on my way out to the Potter's house. If you guys remember that, a really long time ago, and I ran out of gas. that was the same kind of thing where I was getting close to empty, and I thought, well, surely there's going to be gas stations on this highway. I mean, why wouldn't there be a gas station for 3 hours? And there was no gas station, not on the road I took. So it felt like the same thing, like, how stupid could I be? And I kind of had to put myself in this mindset of like, just don't stress, just pretend like it's a full tank of gas. And I had to go in this la la land so I could not psych myself out to get home. Anyway, made it home, got the a new alternator on, got the starter fixed, and she seems pretty good. It seems happy right now. So knock on wood, it seems okay. Oh, Sherry says, what happened to the drug lab storage unit? I hope they refund you. So, in retrospect, I wish I would have been able to keep the pool supplies because could have used some of the cleaners and stuff that were in there. um, the police said I couldn't take anything. That the storage facility had to clear all the chemicals and the laboratory equipment out and dispose of them. So I left that day with nothing. And this is the, unfortunately, a meth lab that I found. And I got a call back maybe about an hour or two later, and they said, listen, like, we got rid of all the chemicals and stuff. There's still a cuckoo clock and a computer and some stuff in here, so we're going to refund you half your money. So they gave me $500 back, which is fine. And I did sell the cuckoo clock for, I think, $250. So I wasn't really out that much. I think some of the other little things that were in there, I was able to mostly get my money back on that unit. But that was, I don't know, I should never have gone that high on an unknown. And probably the guy that was bidding against me was probably the guy that wanted his storage locker back. There's no other reason by a normal human. Uh, it was a stupid thing. I that's why I shouldn't do auctions that much because I don't know. You should just set your limit and then walk away. But in my head, I had this whole story made up that it was gonna be full of like brand new Air Jordans and stuff that are worth a bunch of money because I saw the one Jordan box and all the other things were boxes that were wrapped in plastic and looked really tidy. So I thought it was gonna be good. Ended up not being so good. But I did get some money back. Yvonne, hello back at you. She says, hello, Alex. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little live stream and see. Yeah, Debbie says, well, at least you have YouTube content. You know, that's how I looked at it. I looked at it like, you know, I'm here anyway. I may as well film this because it's happening and it's life and it's what's going on. So Luann says, hello from Houston. Time to clean the pool. Yeah, I've been working. Actually, we're all good to go there. That's all cleaned up. Vancouver says, I used to buy storage lockers and stopped years ago as the prices went too high. Yeah, people bid crazy money up here anyway. Andrew says, the 54 Kaiser could be a good car for Scott at Cold War Motors. It would have been. I asked if he was interested in it, and he wasn't looking for anything, I think, at the time. And that car sold. It's gone. The Kaiser sold a while back, so it's off and with a new owner, new family. Hello from Adirondacks in New York. I've sat in your chairs before. Those are great. Adirondack chairs are awesome. What's the car on the top left of your head? It's cool looking. You talking about that one? That car right there? That is a 1930s tether car that has a real little gas motor in it, and you'd put it on rails or on basically this sort of tether string, and it would just go like mad. And I think they would hit like 80, 90 miles an hour, which is nuts for a little thing like that. It's like a little torpedo, but that's what that is. And I still have some things that eventually need to be sold off. Maybe I'll do an auction sale at some point. But some other storage unit YouTubers said the facilities manager often stage units with high-end boxes to get better result. Yeah, I try and look for the units that look like nobody's been in it in a while, or they don't look like they've been rifled through, or the ones that are just really cheap and it doesn't really matter because you got it cheap enough. But sometimes you see a unit and you go, I don't know. Yeah, they'll put TV boxes, empty TV boxes at the front, and you go, oh, it's got like a 62-inch not plasma, that'd be old, but 62-inch TV in there. And yeah, I guess you got to be really careful with storage lockers for many reasons. Never really found anything that great myself. I never really had that great of. I guess I shouldn't say that. We have found like gold rings and some gold dust and stuff like that, but nothing really that amazing. Things that I would find cool would be if there was like a box of old toys or something like that. I'd be like, oh, exciting! And that did happen once, I guess. That storage unit that I did, and it was this no, they've been paying on it for like 30, 40 years or something like that since the 80s. And I was the first guy in, and yeah, it was full of like He-Man and 80s Hot Wheels and Star Wars and all that. So it had a ton of cool stuff in there. So that was a pretty good one. I think I bought that one on Christmas Eve. It was right around Christmas if I recall. Nobody else was bidding on it. I think I got it for like $100. So it was a pretty good deal. But yeah, probably go and take a couple trips. By the way, if anybody on this channel live stream, or if anybody watches this and you're from Quebec, Quebec City, I'd like to make a trip out to Quebec at some point and go check out some of the shops there. I've never been. I've been to Laval, but I don't really consider that like Quebec City. I'd like to go, and I'd like to see the old walls and the old city and stuff like that. I'll probably go by myself anyway. Melissa's not interested in doing much travel this year, so it'll probably be myself. Kathy says, are you looking to maybe get a house clear out anytime soon? If one comes my way, but the last little while, most people that have had these house clear outs have opted to kind of do it themselves, and I'll get called after they've taken all the good stuff out. So they'll be like, yeah, we have a house clear out. We'll call you when we're ready. Great. And I'm waiting for it. And they go, yeah, okay, well, we're just going to go through and take all the good stuff out. And then if you want any of the stuff that's left, like, let us know. And you're like, well, what's the point? Why would I go and spend all that money on something just to have to clear a bunch of junk? And that's what it was. Basically, I just get called near the end. So just waiting for the right situations, but also having fun working on cars and doing storage lockers and buying things like that. Vancouver says, my best storage locker was $150. It was full of vintage toys, comics, video games. Approximate value was around $30,000. Wow. Vancouver, what was your best, what was the best thing in there? The single best thing? Curious to know if there was some really killer comic. I think I told you guys, I bought a box of sports cards not that long ago, and I'm waiting to hear back from PSA, who does authenticating, if one of them I got was real. If it's real, it might be really good. So we'll have to wait and see on that. They're really backed up. You have to wait like months for them. Lori says, I can relate. Awkward should have been my middle name. Oh, he says Neo Geo game system with 250 plus games all mint. Oh, cool. Whoa, you've been to Laval? That's where I live. Yes, I've been to Laval. I was there for work. I was working as a district manager for Reitman's, which was a ladies' clothing store. Still is out here. And I had to go out there for work and go to the factory, which is in that area where they had the head offices and stuff. So I still went out and looked at some thrift stores and stuff while I was there, but mostly I was there to work, so I didn't have much chance to look around. But yeah, my goal is hopefully in the very near future, I'll find myself out in Quebec to do a little exploration out there. Whatever happened to Hans? Hans is fine. Hans is out doing Hans stuff. I saw him not that long ago. But I haven't really had a need to hire him for anything, and we haven't had any trees need to be taken down, and I'm not doing any home renos or projects like that. So, but I do run into him. I still text him and talk to him socially. But he's doing good. He's keeping busy. He's a busy guy out in his area, just doing all sorts of stuff, renovating and things like that. So Hans is good. Him and Zenobia are still together, and they're doing well. Let's see. What's your favorite car from Scott at Cold War Motors? If you've not checked out the YouTube channel Cold War Motors, Scott is a friend of mine who's also friends with Matt, who has Strong's Garage, and I've done a couple episodes out at Matt's place. In fact, I'll probably have Matt do some work for me on a car that I picked up. Scott has a Citroen station wagon. It's a Citroen DS station wagon. That's probably my favorite car that he has. That's definitely what I would want to, if I could pick one car that he has out of his collection, it'd probably be that one. He's got a Citroen SM that he's working on, and he's just a nice guy. He's a good guy. Let's see. Britt says, a friend of mine got a storage unit once with boxing gloves and signatures from Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. Cool. Well, there was a period of time when those guys were doing a lot around signing stuff, but to get that now, really, really neat. John says, hope everything's going well with you and the family. Yes, everybody's good. Kids are in school and doing well. Crochet Kate says, hi from London. It was good to see you were in the UK recently, Kate. Yes, and I want to go back. I should say I do want to go back to London. I didn't have a chance. I kind of was in London only for a night because I was waiting for a flight to go to Italy, and I just stayed the night pretty much at the Heathrow at one of the hotels. And I had the lovely folks come and pick me up in their classic Saab 900 and drive me around. So wonderful people, and did get to see a few things, but I didn't really get the full London experience. So I think next time I got to go and spend a little bit more time. Yeah, just reading some of the comments here and going through stuff. But I hope everybody's been keeping well. Hope everybody's been doing good. I'm still out there and having fun and doing stuff. Some days I still get a little bit of, I don't know, I get a little sentimental over the store that I had and think, oh, I kind of wish I had a store. But then that passes generally. Oh, what was that last comment? If you come to the East Coast, you should do a meet and greet. Where on the East Coast are you? And Tracy says hi from Arkansas. When are you coming back? Oh, I would love to go back to Arkansas. I have to say that going to Arkansas really, it's so weird. It changed my opinion of Walmart because they've got their headquarters there. Is it Bentonville, Arkansas? I can't remember now. I think that's what it is. But they've made it like the cutest. It looks like Riverdale from the Archie comics. It's like the cutest little town, little art galleries and a nice square. It looks like your stereotypical 1950s American town with white picket fences and flags. I'm like, when I go to the United States, that's what I imagine it should look like. Perfectly clean, spotless white fences, American flags flying. It was a really nice town. And the art gallery that they have there is just absolutely lovely. And the where did I go all the time? They had the was it Culver's? I can't remember. There was a not ice cream, it was custard, frozen custard places out there. And I love going to those, and they got barbecue shacks and stuff. Britt says maybe go to the Niagara Falls area. Yeah, I should do that. I should do that. Mimsy says, sorry to ask him, but so curious, did you find out if those Magic the Gathering duo lands you found in the binder are authentic? I don't, hang on. I don't even know if I still have them. I don't even know what a dual lands is. I'll be honest, no, I don't think I even have them anymore. Didn't know they were anything special. I said I don't know my Magic the Gathering cards, to be honest with you. And so I took that binder and I just sold it as it was at auction. And they probably were real. I guess I probably blew a couple $1,000s worth of cards and sold them for like $50 at auction. So my loss, somebody else's gain. But in the grand scheme of things, somebody out there is probably really happy that they got those cards at auction. And somebody that's really into Magic probably blew their minds. I had no idea they're worth anything. And for me, the Star Wars cards, those insert cards were real, and those did go off for grading. And so I know I'll make lots of money back on that. And then Jason got a bunch of cool Pokemon cards. So if as a whole it turned out good, I can be happy knowing that even if I lost potentially a bunch of money, that somebody else out there maybe had a good day and had a good score from it. So they probably were real because everything else in that binder was real. So there it goes. How about the Midwest, Michigan? Yeah, my ancestors, when they came from England to America around 1850 or so, settled in Michigan. And my great-great-great-grandfather, or fourth great or fifth great grandfather, is buried just outside of Detroit in Wayne County. And I have wanted to go down there and go visit Wayne County, Michigan, to go see my great-great-great-grandfather's grave. On his headstone, it says, proud English citizen. I'm sure that was a real popular sentiment back in the 1800s. Came over from England, and he was super proud to be English in America. I don't think he read the room. He was like 40 when he passed away. And who knows? Who knows what happened there? I don't know the whole story, but he was a school teacher. So maybe he infused a bunch of English teachings and people weren't real happy with that, about like how great the king was or something at the time. Who knows? Mysterious circumstances. I mean, he was a fairly young guy, but yeah, he was the first one in America, and then all of his subsequent kids were in the United States up until my grandpa. They were the first homesteaders in Canada, him and his dad. So lots of history with my family in America, lots of history with my family in Canada, but I do want to explore a lot of parts of Canada that I have not been to. One of North America's oldest cities is in Canada, and that's Quebec. And I've never been there, and I love history. And it's an easy flight. I can just get on a plane and be there and like later in the day. So it's nuts that I haven't been there yet. But it was the capital of New France. And New France, of course, stretched down into Louisiana and New Orleans and all that. New Orleans was like the port city, and Quebec City was the capital. And so it was a pretty major city in North America in the 1600s, and it's still more or less intact with the wall and the whole thing. It was a walled city, and it's there. And I got to go check it out. So I got to go check it out. But yeah, there's lots of places I want to explore. So probably in the near future, Quebec and Vancouver Island, probably places I'd like to go. But guys, thank you very much for staying with me and seeing these adventures I'm going on. I'm probably going to go out to the garage now and film another video, an unboxing video, because I have boxes and boxes of old Hot Wheels and toys and stuff like that. And it's driving me nuts not knowing what's in there. So I've got to go unbox that stuff and hopefully find a few treasures in there. But guys, hope you're all doing well. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm always keeping busy doing stuff, and I was downstairs working on stuff before this video, and I'm gonna get back at it. So guys, thanks again for watching. Yeah, Dave, you should text me all kinds of stuff. I hope you guys are doing well. We'll see y'all soon, and as always, bye for now. Bye guys.